It's
Thank you
good.
for doing this.
Yeah, my pleasure. And thank you for putting yourself out there and asking about it. So I'm going to bring on Rachel as well. The great Rachel Mazza, my co-coach in Escape Velocity and someone I've been working with more and more. And I just love Rachel's energy and her wisdom. Um, so Rachel is very good at helping people with prospect calls, with, things we do and don't say to position ourselves well and help us land the gig. So hi, Rachel. How are you?
Hi.
Hi,
Hi,
Rachel.
Angela.
Good
Hi.
to see you.
We've been chatting a
Um,
little bit online.
Yeah, we have.
cool. So, Angela, I'm going to let you tell everybody, give us some context for the scenario while I dig up your thread, and we'll take a look.
Okay, so this is my proposal that I just created for a client that I accidentally got. She is my fertility acupuncture, and she is trying to generate more clients and more leads. And so she asked me how I did when I got back from Florida, what I did. And when I told her, I help people to write in a way that generates clients. And I said it nicer than that, but it was still messy. And she basically said, I want to hire you. Let's get going. And I'm like, all right. So I put this together for her, came up with a couple ideas, and it's kind of a lot because a lot of this is kind of outside of my capacity as far as the building, but I think I can figure it out. It might drive me crazy. I might end up bald at the end of it, but so I put this proposal together to do kind of like a landing page, a lead magnet like Rachel Kraft had talked about,
Yep.
and just some options for her to do like other things down the line, email sequence, and yeah.
So let me ask you, what was the conversation prior to you putting this proposal together? Like, did she ask for all of this, or did she say, like, show me what it looks like to create a marketing plan together?
So basically, she was saying that she was having some problems with her business partner, and her business partner took over all of the stuff and made it just for her. So they have to get their own clients.
I see.
And when she asked me about Florida, she's like, oh, what is it that you do? And I told her that it's the copywriting, and, I help people to generate the clients. She's like, I actually need that. I need you to help me with that. I said, I could absolutely help you with that. I can create something for free. And I asked her, do you have an email list? And she said, yes. I said, are you using it? She said, no. I said, well, okay, perfect. I said, do you have anything that you give for free? Like any kind of like freebie online or anything? She said, no. I said, okay, we can generate that. Reactivate the people that you currently have. And, she gives out free referrals to people, free appointments to people who refer, and she has free consultations. So I'm like, all of this is really good. We can use this.
But there's no details in the conversation about what it would all look like. So I guess what I'm getting at is the proposal you've created, this is going to be the first she sees of all of this.
Yes, we have talked about it a little bit, as we had literally talked about it. Like I said, this was an accident while she was sticking me with needles before she was about to go to her next patient.
Yep. So this is here, and this is the proposal.
Yes.
Real quickly, and we can just want to give it an overview. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of stuff, but it looks like it's very cleanly laid out, explains everything very well. So that's fantastic. I have some thoughts, but I want to hear from Rachel first. What are you thinking off the top of your head, Rachel?
First thought was congratulations, because this is quadrillion million better than my first proposal.
Yeah, mine too.
I was like, hey, you want to do a thing?
Yeah, mine was an email. Like, okay. Oh, how much?
I think that you have done a lot of work here that you will be able to use and will help you as you move through this project. So you've essentially created an entire project plan for this large project, which is amazing. I think it might be a little bit much to give them up front because it sounds like she doesn't have a fantastic understanding about the intricacies of marketing. So it might be a little bit overwhelming. So what I would suggest is take everything you've done here and keep it, condense it so that she understands what the process would look like, just really quick bullet points. And then when she says yes, you can use all these, this nice outline that you've created with stage 1 and stage 2. You can send that to her after she's paid and ready to get started, where you can say, oh, okay, so that's great. Here's what to expect next. And so you kind of give her those next steps each time you're ready to move into the next stage. And I think what you said about her email list, that might be the easiest place to get her some quick wins. Yeah. I mean, you heard Dean Jackson talking about that 9-word email thing, right? I mean, wouldn't it be awesome if you would get her a couple of clients right away just by sending that out to her list?
Absolutely.
And that would be something that would be super easy for her to say yes to.
Digest, yeah.
And in this, one thing about the pricing, I love how you've broken this down into each of the segments, but I would caution you, and just as something that I had to be reminded of recently, is if you itemize your invoice like that, it makes it super easy for clients to pick apart your invoice and say, okay, well, I don't want to pay that $300. I don't want to pay that $500. And those might be things that you really need to do a great job for her. So I would say, instead of breaking down each individual piece, just say, maybe here's option 1 and it includes all this. Option 2 includes all this. And you can give her some options of different budgets, but maybe don't itemize each item in that package in terms of what that costs, because that just lets them just pick and choose what they feel like they won't feel like paying for, rather than what they need.
Yeah, they start to look at it like an oil change.
Yeah, get rid of the mushrooms on my pizza.
In auto garage. Yeah, it's like, I don't need a new filter. I'm good with. Okay, yeah. So Angela, I think that I agree, and I think look at it like this. Like, and again, I'm with Rachel. First of all, like, amazing job of thinking this through. It's so valuable to do that for yourself, to know what if they want everything and this is a perfect match, what is everything I want to do for this person, and be excited and know the price of it and all those things. But my concern is that with her, this being her first conversation around this at all, this is going to blow her mind and give her way too much friction to have to work through. So definitely, like Bailey said, what we call in RFL a step 1 service, which is going to this proposal, what's the very first thing you would need to do to get started that you would charge for, right? So, and I think it's a smart one: market position discovery and message recommendation. So it'd be like, you could call that maybe like a branding audit or a messaging audit or something like that, and say, listen, the first thing I'd love to do with you is just, let's meet at the coffee shop and let's sit down, and I'm going to ask you a series of questions. I'm going to grill you about the business and find out what makes it unique and different from your competitors. What is the advantage that you already have and might not realize, right? How are we going to set you apart from your now ex-partner and really position you uniquely in the business? And once we have that and we feel good about that, everything else stems from there. So it's kind of like, if we're writing a story, let's decide the ending, and then we can start to write the story together. And I think that will excite her, because she has all the answers to that. She doesn't have to ponder if she needs that or not. Every business needs that. You can mention that. I see so many businesses like skipping this step alone, and then everything they do from there is less effective. So you can really sell this simple step 1 thing, and all it has to be is you bringing your marketing intelligence to a conversation that is otherwise very natural to her.
And one thing I just want to note is all of this that you've laid out here is amazing. So don't feel like you've wasted any work here. This is actually, I'm sure a lot of freelancers do this. I do this, where this is exactly what I do behind the scenes. And because I don't know, a lot of writers, I think it's very similar. We think by writing, right? So we think by writing it all down and making lists and spelling it out. And then what I do is I have this document behind the scenes, and I just take it and summarize it in the proposal for the client. So this is like your back end thinking, and now you just need to summarize it to
let's step her into it. In that way, when you start small like that, if she's like, hey, that's kid stuff, I'm ready to rock and roll, let's like, all right, fine, like, here it is. I mean, it's there. So you want it either way. And in fact, just to jump on what Rachel said, it's like, this is the step that freelancers miss so often. They just go, oh, this person asked me for this thing, let me make up what I call it this, and I charge that, and hopefully that's good for them. But when you do this, it's like, now you're fully aware it's almost like, I think of like, I want to say like, it's like knowing a magic trick, but you only reveal a little bit of it because, so does that feel right, Angela? Like,
Yeah, it
yeah,
totally does. And I appreciate that. I was trying to, I think Rachel, you're totally right. I was putting everything down here thinking, how am I thinking this through? What is it going to look like? But then on the flip side, it was like the confused mind always says no. So I didn't want to
right,
just give this to her and then be like, here you go. Let's have a
right.
conversation and then overload you with everything that you have no idea about.
But you needed to do this in order to understand what was there. So that's
Right.
that's perfect. And then you just need to
Fantastic.
present her what she'll
Yeah.
understand.
Right.
And one thing that's worked really well for me is we always have this tendency, we want to explain, right? We want to explain. So
Yeah.
one thing that you could do is send a super, super simple proposal and then create a video. So Loom is free or Jing is free. These are all like screen capture softwares. You can even use Zoom like Kevin's doing now.
Yep.
And just say, hey, this is Angela. Just wanted to walk you through this real quick. And you could literally walk her through the proposal on the video, show your face. And I found that's a really great tool for me to close deals, is showing your face, reminding them who you are and that you're a real person, and just in a friendly way, walk them through the proposal so that there's no ambiguity for them.
I like that.
That's a cool idea too, because of the existing relationship is a little flipped. You're the patient,
Right.
and you're the one with your butt out getting needles put in it, right? So I don't know where they put the needles, but
In my belly, but that's okay.
okay, sorry, yeah, but that would make more sense. Let's not bring my problems into this. But yeah, but so again, like, it's just kind of a cool flip of the script of like, Angela, the marketing expert, now is taking control of the conversation and making it feel just as cool as it does when you're together other times, but now you're in control, right? You're in charge.
Awesome.
Yep.
Cool. I love that, because I was trying to figure out how I could put like together, like, do I have to design a whole like video of like, not of me. I was thinking of doing it like a, one of those step-by-step kind of things to automate. But I like it better what you're saying, to show her that it's me and do it for her specifically so she can see.
Yeah, because you've already done that with this, right?
Right.
So
yeah, just keep it to 1 minute. It doesn't have to be anything that takes your whole afternoon either.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. Anything else, Angela?
Well, how about these prices? Did the prices look kind of decent? I realized I was kind of messing with them as I was doing it. Like, I think I need to up that. I think I need to up that or down it, but.
Yeah, look, my default on pricing is, look, it's the hardest thing we do, because so much head trash enters into it.
Yes.
All these other conversations that I like to say are not relevant, but they are, because it's a personal thing. It's our own self-worth enters into it. There's a lot of stuff. And so that's why in RFL, we do a thing called backstage pricing, which is essentially, if you kind of come up with what your revenue goal, you break it down by essentially what is your hourly fee, and you start to base less on monetary value to the client and more on what do you need to get paid an hour, and how long do you think it's going to take you to create each of these things, and coming up with the amount that way. This is not something you have to share. This is your backstage process. That's why I call it backstage pricing, right? It helps you have, I think, a more logistical framework for why you're creating the prices, rather than you heard that's what people charge, or so. Right. That's when you say things like, oh, I feel like I need to up that or whatever. Look, it's the first gig. You just want it to go well. If you get, there's so much value in the experience you're going to get if you can do all these services with this client, that it's hard to even put the right value on what that means to you. So as long as she's investing enough to really see the value and stay plugged into and implement the stuff that you create for her, and you don't feel like you gave it away, there should be no regret about finding out that somebody down the road could charge twice as much for that, because this is your experience, and early on, the experience is far more valuable than dollars.
Absolutely. That's true. Well, thank you. I appreciate
All right.
it.
Great. Thank you. This is really cool to do one like this. And again, like, kudos, man. Like, this is so comprehensive, and like, this is brought your business to such another level on its own. If nothing happens from here, you've done a great job of advancing.
And share the updated version in the forum and tag me. I'll be glad to take a look.
Okay, cool. Yay. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, everybody, for a great Chief Chat. Thanks for the all the great energy around Copy Chief Live. Can't wait till next year.